What's going on, everyone? So today's video, I'm going to go over 10 specific tips on how you can, if you follow these tips, excuse me, you can lead a more well-balanced and healthier lifestyle, not only physically, but mentally. The first couple of tips will be pretty obvious, but if you decide to stick around, maybe you'll get something out of this. So the first obvious tip to lead a healthier lifestyle is to just eat healthy as much as possible. Now, you can't do it 100% of the time. It's impossible. I don't. But try to eat more wholesome foods. If you get something and you look at the ingredients and it sounds like it came out of a chemical lab, it probably did. It's probably not that good for you. Once in a while is okay, but try to stick to fresh fruits and vegetables and lean proteins if you are not a vegetarian or a vegan. If you want any diet specifics, you can send me a message. But I don't want to get this. I don't want to get to the specifics of that for this video because it'll be too long. But just try to eat sensible, and that's going to help you because you only have one body. Your body is your temple, and you need to respect it. If you put garbage into your body, you're going to feel like garbage. The second tip, let's move right along, is the exercise portion. I don't care what you do. If you want to message me for the specifics, I'm more of a compound movement weightlifter, but just get moving. I don't care if you are brand new to health and fitness, if you are out of shape. Take a walk around the park 10 minutes 3 times a week, increase it to 15, 20 minutes. You want to get the heart rate going. It's going to help you sleep better at night. It will, along with having a good diet, it's going to lower your blood pressure, the bad cholesterol, and there's just a number of just great benefits. I shouldn't have to tell you, it's very obvious that exercising is a good thing, so just get the body moving. The third tip, and this is more for mental acuity, and that is to try to read more. This is something that I've been doing a little bit better with, but because I'm so busy, it's hard. But if you can read some stuff on the internet too, but try to read some books. I prefer nonfiction, but fiction is fine. But I will say more specifically is that when you do read, try to read something. Now, it doesn't have to be a scientific, peer-reviewed journal because those can get very complicated. You got to be in the right mindset. That could be a little daunting, especially after a long day at work. But you, once in a while, you want to read something that challenges your mind, challenges and forces you to stretch your brain. And then upon reading something, if it gets too complicated, stop for a second. It's not a race, and just kind of absorb the information if it doesn't make sense, or try to process it and ask yourself, do I agree with the premise? If so, why? If I don't agree with the premise, why? Is there any holes in the argument, and is there a counter argument? When you do this over and over, it expands your mind and it becomes like second nature. So that's going to help you for your mental acuity. So hopefully I could do this all in one take. That's the third one. Tip number 4 is to unplug from social media every once in a while. I'm going to leave that up to you. Too much social media, to me, is going to be the demise of our society. You're just glued to a phone all day, right? You go outside, no one's even socializing, just looking at your phone constantly. I'm guilty of it to a certain point. But cut down on the Instagram, cut down on the Facebook, cut down on the Twitter. A lot of these things can be very, very toxic because it's treated like teams, right? Team A versus Team B, and who can destroy each other, whether it's through politics, through any other subject. It just gets very hostile at times, and I've been caught in these online squabbles, and nothing good comes out of it. Sometimes, once in a while, but a lot of times these people are just absolute freaking nuts. So disconnect, and it'll be good for your mental well-being. Let's see, that's the fourth tip. So moving on to the fifth tip, and that is to form meaningful relationships. Maybe you already have some, and if you do, consider yourself lucky. But forming strong relationships, whether it's a companion and or just a good friend that you can confide in, these strong relationships. It's cool to just have a partner or a friend, a drinking buddy that watches sports. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on that, but there are certain people that that kind of really get you, and I think it's good to have that really strong bond. To me, it's gonna help you in the long run lead and live a longer fruitful life. So that is the fifth tip, right? Yeah, the fifth tip. Okay, I gotta make sure. The sixth tip, I'm doing this right from my memory. The sixth tip is to have some alone time. So kind of like the opposite of what I just said for tip number 5. Alone time is very important. Now I'm not talking about in extreme cases like solitary confinement, because that's sorry, my allergies. Solitary confinement is ultimate punishment, but just in general, right? A little bit of alone time is good. Some people always want to be around other people, and that's fine. But sometimes you got to reflect and have that. Really sorry, you got to have some alone time to just be able to be alone in your own thoughts. Sorry, my allergies are just freaking kicking in right now, big time, and I'm sorry if I'm grossing you out, but I'm not going to retake and do this video. So that's tip number 6. Oh, moving on to tip number 7, and that is to travel if you can. Now, under the circumstances with COVID and whatnot, it's pretty limited to a point, but if you can, definitely go out and travel. This is going to give you a fresh perspective. Once again, it's kind of limited right now, but even if you just have a new change of scenery, it can get you out of that funk, so to speak. The 8th tip is to find a hobby outside of work. Find something that you're very passionate about. So for me, one of my outlets is what I'm doing right now, YouTube videos. It could be drawing, it could be knitting, it could be community service, something that just gives you a little bit more purpose in life. That's going to help. Tip number 9, and this one's going to be a little bit slightly controversial, and I'll put asterisk next to it, but I think once in a while it's okay to escape through. Maybe I'll do a separate video on it. I'm not saying get effed up like every day all the time, but I think unwinding after a long day of work and having a glass of wine, or even on the weekends having a few mixers, a few beers, to where you might get a little bit buzzed. Now, if you have any alcoholism in your past or with your family, please disregard. I'm not saying that. If you have an addictive personality, or if you've had a drug habit in the past, disregard this tip. But if you can just kind of monitor it to a point, I think it's okay to escape from all the crap that's been going on lately. I think it's healthy as long as it doesn't affect your work and your responsibilities. So, man, I've been talking a while. I think that was the 8th. I think that was the 9th tip. I hope I didn't screw that up. If I did, I will annotate. So I think that's it. And the last but not least, the tip number 10, and it's going to be a curveball. And I'm going to leave it up to you guys and gals for the 10th tip. Sorry, it's not a cop-out, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to force something just for 10 tips just for the sake of the video. So the 10th tip, let me know if you made it this far in the video, if you have a suggestion. Maybe it's some yoga, maybe it's meditating. I didn't include it because I don't really meditate. I'll be honest. Some people do, and that might be worthwhile. But if there's something that I missed and you made it this far in the video, you're a trooper. Leave the tip down below, and thank you for all your support. Hopefully that video was helpful. Comments, questions always welcome, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.